Well, folks, if you ain't following Adam Mockler from the Midas Touch Network, I highly recommend you look him up and do so today. Adam has been out there absolutely crushing it and going out on the campaign trail and talking to MAGA face to face. And I have loved some of the exchanges that I've seen, but I picked out this one to show you because I think sometimes it's very important to realize what it is that we're up against. I always tell people that we need to stay motivated and we need to stay inspired to vote like never before. And if you ever catch yourself going, well, I don't know, does my vote really count? Should I stay home or should I vote third party? You got to stop and realize what it is that we're truly up against, the level of ignorance that we're up against. I want you guys to take a look at this clip and then we're going to come back and talk more about it.
People say that Biden is senile. Do you believe that?
I believe it.
So senile Biden, right?
Yeah.
Quote, senile Biden has passed the bipartisan infrastructure bill.
He didn't do it.
The PACT Act.
He's an empty suit.
Okay, so with him and the help of Congress, we can revise the wording. They passed the bipartisan infrastructure bill, the PACT Act, the CHIPS and Science Act. Let me ask you, what's one bill that Trump passed?
What's one bill that Trump passed? Oh my God! What's one bill? His policies. Okay.
You repeat the question like it's obvious, but you don't give me an answer.
No, I know one bill that he passed.
Name it.
Okay. Well, look at what he implemented with security in the border. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Security in the border. Roe versus Wade. Okay. The economy was up under Trump because
Roe v. Wade is a decent answer. That's just from the Supreme Court, but that's a decent answer. So you're pro-life.
I'm pro-choice.
So right out of the gate, she says Biden is an empty suit. He doesn't do anything. And she says that because Adam begins bringing the receipts and telling her everything that Biden has got pushed through. So she has to downplay that and say, oh, he's just an empty suit. He didn't actually do any of those things. So then Adam says, okay, tell me what Donald Trump did that was so great. Tell me what bills he got passed. And she can't name any. All she can do is parrot what he says and parrot what the talking heads say, which is that they love his policies. So she tries to go there. And then she says the border, and then she says Roe versus Wade. But when Adam says, well, okay, Roe versus Wade, that's a good answer, so you must be pro-life, she says, I'm pro-choice. And that tells you that these people don't actually know what they're talking about. They don't really know what it is that they stand for, and they don't really know how anything actually truly works. They just heard Trump say that he had good policies, and they believed him. They just saw and heard Donald Trump talk about how good he was on the border, and they believed it. Even though when you point out to them that crime is down now, they can't accept that. And then they've heard him say, oh, I'm the one that got rid of Roe versus Wade. I'm the one that sent it back to the states. For 50 years they wanted to do that, but I'm the one that got it done. And so she said that. And when he said, well, then you must be pro-life. No, I'm pro-choice, which tells you she didn't even know what it was she was talking about. But I showed you that clip to remind you of what it is that we're up against. Because I think it's, there's a lot of times on the left that I think right now, don't get me wrong, I think right now we have more energy than we've had in years. I think we have 2008 energy, and I'm super glad to see it. But I know how easy the left is to lose faith and lose hope. We just have to own it. We can lose faith and hope really fast. And I think we do so because we are open-minded people, because we do accept facts and we do accept science and we do accept reality. And so it's easier for us to get discouraged when we see the facts in front of us. But a Trump supporter is absolutely 110% confident behind all of that, and they can't explain any of it. On a daily basis, I get criticized by people who calls me a communist, a socialist, and a Marxist. That's three words they love to parrot. They can't define any of those things. They can't tell you about any of those things. But they've been told to call you that. And they've been told since they were little kids that Democrats were evil. Now they see Donald Trump come along. He was a reality show host. He was someone who they sat and watched on game shows and saw in the tabloids their entire life. And they thought, hey, I'm struggling in this world. I never have really been able to make it as far as I want to in life. So it must be the government's fault. And it must be those evil Democrats I hear about. And so let's turn over the government to this guy over here who has no experience in it. To a guy who has went out of his way to con everyone he's ever done business with. Went out of his way this guy has spent more time in courtrooms. This guy bankrupted a casino. But they thought it would be a good idea to let him have the reins just for once. Let him try it. He's a businessman. We've never had that before. Let him try it. And back a couple of months ago, I had Adam on my show. On my podcast, and he made a great point. He said, a lot of people thinks that you can just turn it over to that type of populist candidate And someone who's inexperienced in government might be the answer. But that's not realistic, because you want somebody who's been in there. You want someone who has been working and knows how to work within the confines of the government, because that's the person that's going to be able to get the most done. And Joe Biden has the most experience in that department, and he has been a very productive and effective president. They don't like hearing that, and when you bring the receipts, they'll say, well, that's just an empty suit. It's not really him doing it. But then when they're questioned to bring the receipts and tell us what it was that Trump did that was so great, the only thing they can do is just parrot those talking points back to you. That's it. But these people weren't in the political conversation before he came down that escalator. They weren't. For those of us that were, it's super frustrating. Trying to talk to them and make sense of all of it, and trying to explain to them, hey, this is how government works, and this is how our system is, and this is the way that people gets things done in government. When Trump comes along and says that he needs immunity in order to be able to do his job, to me, that should disqualify him completely. That one statement should be enough to completely disqualify him. If you can't work within the confines of the system and get things done, then you're not smart and you don't know how to get things done within that system. If you have to completely gut that system and have free reins to do whatever you want to, you don't know what you're talking about. And that way of thinking would not work in any other job in this country. And if you don't believe me, just go into work tomorrow and say to your boss, hey, I know you gave me a handbook and I know we got rules at this company, but I have to be able to do my job. So I'm just going to break whatever rules are in there that I don't think I need to abide by. I'm just going to break them all because I have to do my job. Try that on for size and let me know how far you get with it. Leave a comment and let me know if you make it past the end of that sentence before the boss just walks you to the time clock and tells you that you no longer work there. I have never seen someone like Trump who come along, got in there. Everyone that worked around him said that he didn't know what he was doing. Everyone around him said that he was a complete and total clusterfuck, that it was complete and total chaos every time he got around anything. He didn't know what he was doing. Then when he lost and got voted out, he sicked his followers to, come and riot on the Capitol. And now he's back asking for a rematch, and someone like J.D. Vance actually stands up and says, let's return to the common sense of Donald Trump. He has none, okay? And that type of rhetoric is what breeds that type of supporter. And you know what? That woman might be a cool woman to sit and have a beer with. I don't know. And she might be a good friend to her friends and a good mom to her kids. I'm not going to say she's not. But Donald Trump has gave people like that an identity, and they are absolutely willing to go right down with him to the bitter end. They believe everything it is that he's ever said and done, and they have no clue how any of his policies work, how the border works. They don't even know Roe versus Wade. It's truly mind-numbing. It really is. But we have to remember, that's the kind of people that's fired up and ready to vote. So if at any point you start to lose doubt, just go follow Adam Mockler's channel. Watch him talk to these Trump supporters and listen and realize that they are overconfident. They are more confident than ever that they've got it right. And we can never allow the reins of government to be handed back over to that type of person, because all it's going to do is breed and empower other people to think they can do it too. Do you realize right now, J.D. Vance is case in point, there's younger politicians that have saw Donald Trump and went, hey, gee, I don't have to know anything. And I don't have to work within the confines of the system. Just let me have a stab at it. It wouldn't work in any other workplace, and it shouldn't work in our government, because our government is the one that is making decisions for our lives. Our future depends on their decision making. And if that's the kind of people they are empowering, folks, we're truly fucked. We just are. So stay inspired and get out there and vote. I'm going to early vote this year. I've never done that, but I'm going to this year, because on election day, I just want to be able to sit here and just watch. I just want to sit back on that day and watch. And I've had people say to me, are you going to go live? And I'll have to be honest with you, I don't know yet. We'll just have to wait and see. But I think everyone needs to stay inspired and stay focused and get Kamala and Tim over the finish line. And then we're going to have a lot of work to do picking up the pieces and undoing the damage that Donald Trump has done. But folks, I want to thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you haven't already, be sure to go check out Adam Mockler. He is one of the best young voices we have in the pro-democracy movement. Go check out his channel. I'll get it out in a minute. Go check out his channel and give him a subscribe, and just follow all the pro-democracy voices out there, because we're just trying to shine a light on reality. And I'm proud to be alongside people like that, just pumping out content like this. I would much rather be doing this now than what I did for 20 years of my life. Never thought I'd say it, but it's true. So anyway, thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great day.